Hi, everybody. Okay, so this is day 1302, and we are live. Are we live? Let's see if everything is working. I don't see it. There we are. Okay, so here we are. Thank you so much. I'll turn that down now. So this has been very this has been a very revealing day. Um, and I'll just speak from the heart. So we're at day 1302, and we absolutely know that the law enforcement agencies, um, yeah, I have the list of them. We've been, of course, working on this book and who goes into what agency and who's dirty and who's not. And but we work a little different. We take our time and we find the corroborating evidence. We find the corroborating evidence. We have our suspects, but then we investigate and we search. We search for the corroborating evidence, being it within plea deals, being it in confessions, being it in screenshots, being it in CCTV footage, bringing it, being it in witness testimonies. We family ties. We find the corroborating evidence for the basis of our remarks, for the basis of our suspicions, for our allegations. And so we have these, they made it easy for us. It's all organized in agencies from the local police department, county sheriff's office, the FBI, the Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, the U.S. Marshal Service, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, Explosive, Department of Homeland Security, Department of Justice, El Paso Medical Examiner's Office, Mortuary Affairs, U.S. Department of State, authorities from Juarez, Mexico, Fort Bliss Military. We haven't focused yet on all the Fort Bliss people in the memes to try to get people to understand what's going on at Fort Bliss, and we're getting there. But with this DA Bill Hicks, this is our focus to uh, because that directly impacts the August 3rd, 2000. The August 3rd, 2019 Walmart mass shooting case, which is Richard's case, the El Paso people, it affects so many people. And also, if the DA was doing their job there in El Paso, um, Fort Bliss wouldn't be able to be so brazen in their criminal activities as they are. So that's why we're focusing on the DA to change out the DA because they are just absolutely no good. And I'm saying they because we have John Briggs in there. Um, and of course Bill Hicks. So we have several in there that are up to no good, that are in cahoots with the criminal enterprise, and they are hurting El Pasoans. They are hurting that beautiful city, even the land. Because remember, um, law enforcement is for the people and the land. And when the people are not getting justice, the land suffers also. And so, yeah, this is, and it really is odd to me that these certain left leaning, just absolutely insanity, um, will weaponize their legal and, just destroy justice, uh, and then claim that they're concerned about the environment and all of that. It's just, nothing makes sense. They are just uh, clueless, absolutely clueless. And today was a very good display of the insanity. It really was. So, yeah, Fort Bliss, Department of Army Criminal Investigative Command, the CID, of course, military legal advisors, and the judges, JAG, United States Border Patrol, Texas Rangers, United States Secret Service, Department of Veteran Affairs, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the Mexican military, the Mexican state government, the Mexican federal government, the El Paso Community College, the Park University, UTEP University of Texas, El Paso, of course, the media, El Paso Matters, of course, different companies like aircraft companies, um, and it goes on and on. So, we've just been putting who's who and all of this. It goes on and on. And it's really important to uh, find your suspects, find their motives, find what you're alleging that they did, and get the corroborating evidence, the documentation to support it. Because that is not what CID did in its report. They put out the worst garbage. We're going through it with a fine tooth comb, and there's not one piece of evidence that we have found yet. I mean, nothing, nothing. They make the most outlandish accusations with no corroborating evidence. And you know what? We're just, the family that's been told to investigate our son's investigation, right? And so we're trying to do this right. And they are supposed to be the seasoned, trained, we fund them to get this education to become the law enforcers, and yet they are so first grade, right? They are so derelict in their duty, or they're so sloppy, or they have no pride. They spend no time in it. They don't care about it. They are just, it is, or they are dirty, or they are part of the criminal enterprise, and they're serving their, and worse, um, you could say they're treasonous, serving foreign and domestic enemies. I mean, at worst, and absolutely, we have some of them that are serving foreign and domestic enemies and are treasonous, which is a capital punishment. So, yeah, that is very, very clear. And we need to have the death penalty on the table. We need to have that shot, yeah, on the table, because of what they have done is just that bad. It's so bad. And so, everyone's watching today. Fannie Willis, the DA there at Fulton County in Georgia. Not everybody, but a lot, a lot of people are watching it and watching her there. Um, and you're thinking to yourself, she's a DA? What you talking about, Willis? She's a DA? No way. No way can she be a DA. And no way could he be the attorney for Fulton County and Atlanta, Georgia. Come on. We can't get better. We can't get more professional. We can't get somebody that has some honor and integrity and some pride in themselves and their name. Uh, you know, I think that anybody watching that is just embarrassed, absolutely embarrassed for our country. Because let me tell you, there's a lot of good people in Fulton County and a lot of good attorneys, and they voted someone like this in that would absolutely use that position, abuse that position, just and it is so bad, right? To as a gravy train to extort the people there of monies so that she could pay her boyfriend, a big fat wage so she can go on vacations. And then she wants us to believe her story about having cash, and paying him in cash because it's fungible. Um, it is the most ridiculous. It is so insane. It is so bad. And she's an adulterous sex act person just like Lilani Hart. That's all she is. That's all she is. And you know what? She's not even as bad as Lilani Hart. And she's not as bad as Bill Hicks. You think Fulton County has something really bad? Go to El Paso. Go to El Paso and look at Bill Hicks. He is far worse and has done far worse than even the unbelievable just insanity that's going on at Fulton County, and going after the president of the United States for, saying election interference or whatever. Oh, yeah, really? Yeah, right, right. But let me tell you, that Walmart mass shooting case, Richard's case, the murder, there's several murders that went, just walked, right? What they've done to El Paso, the millions of dollars in the last 4 years, over 4 years, that they have extorted from the taxpayers there. And then to have this vile, vulgar messaging to divide that whole, and make them believe it using a uh, just total, just a perpetual criminal named Chris Grant, and then out of Dreams Cafe, and connected to Donna Sifford, using Donna Sifford, who's dirty. She's dirty. Chris Grant is dirty. Lilani Hart is dirty. Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia is dirty. And it goes on and on. And Bill Hicks is, fighting, not for the people of El Paso, but to maintain the criminal enterprise and protect these criminals and protect the vile and vulgar messaging tearing apart the people of El Paso. I think that is, because that vile and vulgar messaging, that creates more hardship and crime. And, of course, Richard's case where um, Richard is whistleblowing on all kinds of stuff, you know, the bad financial theft going on Fort Bliss, the weapons smuggling, the human trafficking, the child pornography, which is child torture, reporting to the CPS, the narcotics trafficking, the abuse of power. All kinds of things. The list gets longer and longer of what we are finding and corroborating what he was reporting, and that was before the Walmart incident, okay? Before the Walmart mass shooting, Richard was already whistleblowing. His case came first. His case came first. And the Walmart case was a diversion from the reports because, Richard was not afraid of these generals if these generals are dirty. If Clem Coward is dirty, he's going to say it. If Clem Coward is involved with Dreams Cabaret, then Richard's going to say it. If anyone is involved with Leilani Hart, that is like in high positions, because she didn't just have her adulterous sex acts with anybody. They had to be in certain positions, right? Like chain hotels or, uh, law enforcement leaders. That way she could, influence. She's like the ultimate influencer, like Tavita Nusa in the CID. And Bill Hicks is letting that all happen because he was a DA at the time. He's representing Purchase Funeral Homes. That's interesting when you look at the background. When you look at the background of all of that, it's pretty alarming. And then he gets appointed. That must have been a favor. Hey, Greg Abbott, isn't that what his name is? Yeah, I got someone. I got someone for you. You're gonna do this for me for a favor. Yeah, maybe because, I give to your campaign or you take my planes or whatever. Um, you know, so he was a favor. I'm sorry, y'all. When I see this many people getting hurt and knowing what we have been through and absolutely living with what Richard went through day in and day out, I think, yeah, I'm going to try to stay calm. I'm going to try to stay calm because these district attorneys have so much power. And one thing I've learned through this whole thing, Team Find Richard Halliday has learned through all of this, is that we absolutely need to have our eye on the district attorney in our area. We need to know exactly who they are serving, and what they are doing in that district attorney's office, because their job is to identify crime and document it and to prosecute it, to be the prosecutors. So this is really, really important, and it's no wonder that people with evil intentions will focus their eye on district attorneys and try to get in the dirty lawyers that they want in. Because look, Bill Hicks is not even qualified for the position. He didn't even pass his bar exam the first time. He didn't pay his taxes 2 years in a row. He had tax problems. He has financial problems. He couldn't even manage his own business. He had state bar complaints against him. He was representing Purchase Funeral Homes, the very funeral home that was in charge of the deceased bodies of August 3rd, 2019 mass shooting, the Walmart mass shooting. And then he's supposed to be district attorney and supposed to be prosecuting the case. when Purchase is the witness for the case, and you're telling me he's not going to be biased? Because Purchase deals directly with Mario Rascon Ortiz, the chief medical examiner, who's not even an American citizen. We have that confirmed. He's not even an American citizen. And he's making close to $500,000 a year from taxpayers. And who knows from what else. So, yeah, this is talk about, Willis, Fannie Willis has nothing on Bill Hicks. And so that has been our focus, because he even, we're trying to communicate with him, right? Because he serves us. He serves us. We don't serve him. And we're trying to communicate with him, and he's not communicating back with us. So we put in all these open records. We try to communicate with him again. He blocks our email. He blocks our email. So you think in Fulton County they have a bad district attorney? No, go to El Paso. It's bad because he even participated in election interference because he plotted with Justin Underwood, and this is like two days after Curtis Cox for Yvonne Rosales, the DA at the time, fired John Briggs, who is up to no good, deserved to be fired. They started plotting with El Paso Matters Bob Moore and Bill Hicks and Justin Underwood to organize. And this is not just some kids. These are attorneys and a reporter, a seasoned reporter, a CEO. Isn't he CEO of El Paso Matters? He should have some credibility, but he doesn't. Bob Moore doesn't have any credibility because he uses unreliable sources like Leilani Hart, who's having an adulterous sex act time with Tavita Nusa, the CID of Fort Bliss, that's in charge of investing in these cases and then tampering with the files. And we have corroborating evidence for that. We're not just putting that out there. And it's time for Jay Pollan to come clean with his confession. Same thing with Danae Katzen. Come clean with her confession. Same thing with Dallas Hart with his confession. And same thing with many others with their confessions. Because the death penalty is on the table. And things are really starting to move very, very quickly. Once the truth starts coming, it just starts pouring. And, I think Chris Grant needs to make his confession. I think he has immunity because he apparently, even President Trump, while he was president with his Secret Service, couldn't, they arrested Chris Grant. So he must be an informant, an FBI informant. And that would explain, but doesn't explain really. It explains a problem that these FBI informants, that have deals, they could be a DEA informant or, whatever informant that they are, that they have this immunity and that our government hires thousands and thousands and thousands and makes them criminals because they commit crimes after crimes after crimes and have no accountability. I think this is a huge problem that needs to be addressed. We're going to fight for that problem to be addressed. So that is huge news for today coming out about everyone going, oh, oh, Fannie Willis. Uh, you want something very interesting? Look at Bill Hicks in El Paso. He needs to have his license removed. He needs to be arrested. Should never ever practice law ever again. That's how bad he is. So, thank you so much, everyone, for coming on. Thank you for sharing, paying attention to this case. And we will be back tomorrow, God willing.